Hi, welcome to the How Do I video series on Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2015. My name is Mark Brummel and I'm an MVP for Microsoft Dynamics NAV. I will be presenting how do I create data from templates in Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2015. This video is made in collaboration with Plataan, a Microsoft Dynamics Learning Center from Belgium, and Microsoft. At the end of this video you will have an idea on how to create data from templates in Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2015. The objective of this video is to first look at the design pattern from the standard application and then how to implement the pattern ourselves. First, let me explain design patterns shortly. Design patterns are common solutions or best practices to solve problems. This is a well-known concept in computer programming and can therefore be applied to Dynamics NAV as well. This video is part of a series around design patterns, and during this video I will reference to other patterns and videos. During this video we will going through 3 easy steps. The first step, meets the pattern, is looking at how to create data from templates in the standard application from a functional perspective. In the second step, know the pattern, we will look at how the pattern is implemented in the application. The pattern is implemented in 2 ways. In step 3, use the pattern, we will use the pattern in our own example application. Together with this video, I would like to recommend 3 other videos. How do I work with master data and posting? How do I implement master data? And how do I use temporary datasets? Before we dive into the programming, let's have a look at how the design patterns work from the application. The templates are part of the Rapid Start implementation package. If we look for templates in the product, we can see that they are referenced in the Rapid Start menu. In the demo database we have templates for customers, vendors and items, but we can create them for any entity in Dynamics NAV. If we open one of the templates, we can see that the fields are listed in a subpage. We can add any field in the table, making it a very flexible tool. If we go back to the role center and create a new customer, we can go to the Actions tab and select Apply Template. This would give us a list of all the templates that apply to this table, and if we select one of the templates, we can see that the fields that are defined in the templates are populated in our customer record. Another implementation of the templates is used in the small business application that is shipped within Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2015. Let's select the small business application as a default role center and restart the application. This is the small business role center in Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2015, designed to be used in small businesses. If we now go to the customers, we see the same data with the customer we just created, but if we now select a new customer, we get the list of templates even before the customer record is created. If we edit the template, we can also see that the data is represented in a different way. The reason for this is that small business applications inside Dynamics NAV should be simplified for end users. After selecting a template, the customer card opens and the data is populated from the template. From the customer card in the small business application, we also have the option to save templates. This option takes the data from the current customer and allows the user to save the data. Let's do this. If we now go back to Rapid Start and look at the configuration templates, we can see that the template we just created is added to the list, and behind the scenes the fields are created in exactly the same way as the templates are used in the normal implementation. The small business application allows the users to another view of the templates. This methodology is called the Model View Model pattern in computer programming, and it's one of the most important architectural patterns. We will discuss this pattern more deeply in step 2 of the video, and we will create our own in step 3. Let's have a look at how this works from a technical perspective. As mentioned earlier in the video, the templates originated from Rapid Start tooling and can therefore be found in the object numbering range for this tool. By default, the template is applied after creating a master data record. This is done by code unit 8612 in the function update record. Let's have a look. The update record function has a signature which have the config template and a record reference. This means that it can be called from any entity in Dynamics NAV. After verifying that the primary key is populated, it either does so or enters the function to apply the template. The template fields are read from the configuration lines and populated in the underlying functions. The system also allows nested templates in case it is required to set up a one-to-many relationship, such as dimensions or unit of measure codes. If we go to the customer card and see the code behind the apply template, we see that the current record of the customer is converted into a record reference, and then the code unit 8612 is called with a record reference. After the user has selected a template from the list, the update record is called. This is generic code and can be applied to any entity in Microsoft Dynamics NAV. This is the implementation in the standard Dynamics NAV application. The small business app that resides in Dynamics NAV has a different implementation of the pattern. Before we can discuss the design, we first have to introduce another pattern, which is the architectural pattern Model View Model, also known as MVVM. This is a very well-known pattern in computer programming. It separates storing the data from its user representation. It is not very typical for Dynamics NAV, but when required, it can be applied. If we want to implement the MVVM pattern in the NAV, we need a page and a table object. These objects are the visual representation. The table is used as a temporary container, and it will never contain actual data in the database. If we look at the implementation of the MVVM pattern in the current context of templates, table and page 1300 are the model and the view. The Rapid Start tables are the view model. The goal is to make the representation of the data easier for end users, while maintaining the flexible data model in the background. If we look at table 1300, the mini customer template, we can see that it contains a lot of fields that we recognize from the customer table. It even uses the same field numbers for the same fields, which enables it to be used with the transfer field pattern. Page 13 41 visualizes the data for the end user. The table will never contain actual data. It is populated temporarily. Let's see how that works by reverse engineering the feature. To do this, we have to start at the mini customer card. In the mini customer card, there is some code that is executed when creating a new record. Here we can see that the mini customer template table has a function new customer from template that's called. Let's go to that function. Inside the function new customer from template in the mini customer template table, we can see that the tables we saw earlier in the rapid start are used for the user to select a template. If there are no templates, they are not applied. If there's only one template, the customer does not have to make a decision. And if there are multiple templates, the customer has to select from a list. The MVVM model is just a UI representation. It is implemented when opening the mini customer template card page. The page is opened from page 1340, the mini config templates. Let's have a look at that page. This page shows only the description of the templates. If we look at the page actions, we can see that there is an action for each page and an edit template function. When editing the template or creating a new template, the data is inserted into the view table temporarily and shown to the user. If we go back and look at the mini customer template, which is the temporary view, we can see that inside this table there is some business logic that once the user has changed the data in the template, the data in the background is updated. This completes the implementation of the MVVM design pattern. Let's see how we can implement the pattern in our own application. In order to implement the standard template, very little effort is needed. We actually only have to create a template based on our own master data and pick a field we want to populate with a default value. The next step is to go to the customer card, go to the actions. In the customer card, we look for the function apply template and copy the action including the container. Then we go to the example card, open the actions, and we paste the action. We can just save the page and the code compiles. If we now go to the examples and we create a new example, we go to the action apply template, we pick the template and the default description is populated. For the small business implementation of the pattern, we have created a new page, the mini example card, that contains the code snippet that is required for the pattern and calls the mini example template. These are the objects we created and changed for this example. The mini example card has the code snippet in the onNew record that calls the mini example template. This is an exact copy or clone from the customer template and allows us to save example templates. In our example, we have used the blocked field as a template field. In the mini example card, we have also implemented the action to save a template. Let's see how it works from the application. We go to the mini examples and we create a new example. We can see that we create a new example using the default description. This is because earlier in the video we have created a manual template. This is the only template and the software picks the default template. Now let's make this one a blocked example and use the Save as Template option. We can save it as a test blocked and save the template. If we now create a new, we can see that we have two templates. We can select the test blocked and we have a blocked example. If we look at the rapid start, we can see that we have configuration templates. The system have created the test blocked with the blocked field set to the default value of yes. In this video we have learned how to use the Create Data from Templates pattern. We have looked at the base implementation and we have looked at how it's implemented in the small business application uses the MVVM architectural pattern. Thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you again in another episode of the How Do I video series for design patterns on Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2015.